Okay, so this is actually part two of the down low on the down low. Um, I don't know, being a liberal and interested in social sciences and doing a lot of research of my own. I mean, you study history and you look at the contributions of homosexuals to human history, and they are actually incredibly significant contributions. Um, But I think even in these studies, there's a lot of confusion. Oftentimes, we'll hear about things like, all the Spartans were gay, and that they had male lovers, and none of that is to be denied. I mean, there's definitely an incredible amount of homosexuality among Greeks in general, among the Romans, and it seemed, in different cultures, around the globe. I heard one woman was doing a video, and basically her assumption was that whites invented homosexuality, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. These ideas are coming from people who have never read a book on their own, but you know different societies have found different ways to deal and channel this, different ways of accepting and classifying different groups. Um, I don't think that you know bisexuals as a group could be um, the majority of any society. I think that they would be probably rather rare, maybe even less rare than homosexuals. But it depends on how the society deals with it. Um, how many people are going to be categorized as one thing or the other. I think that it would probably be a fair assumption to assume that even though these societies seem to be and they weren't necessarily always open about it. I remember reading something about Julius Caesar, and that there were comments that he slept his way to the top, and it wasn't with women but with other men. And I think that's the thing, is that we have to be honest, and we have to kind of look at these different things. I would imagine, like I was saying, is that they're probably in the minority, and you have to make distinctions. I know there's a big debate on YouTube about and even in America and probably the world about are homosexuals, is it a choice, is it birth? Now, as I said in part one, I have a brother who's homosexual. Actually, he's my baby brother. And if you listen to my mom tell the story, she said that she suspected that he was gay probably as early as three, someone maybe between 3 and 5 years old. But by the time he was 8, she was pretty certain that he was. Um, so I don't know, what side that lends weight to, but I know in my personal experience, I ran into a woman several years ago, and she was telling me that she had been mistreated by men so badly in the past that she made a conscious effort to then pursue other women. And hearing that, you're like, well, that definitely sounds like choice that you're choosing. Um, so that kind of puzzled me. And again, there's always been homosexuals in my life. When I was in college, I had a roommate who was gay, and I found it odd because he had children, which you're kind of like, well, not only does that mean that you had sex with a woman, but you must have been able to do it, because he knew he was gay, but he was going through the motions for family, friends, or whatever, but he was able to choose to have heterosexual sex. And so, and then, like a lot of us, the whole story of prison jokes. A guy goes in straight, comes out gay, and you know, when you think about it, how could something like that happen? Well, if a guy has never had homosexual tendencies in his life and he goes into prison, well, there's the most obvious way that something like that could happen is through force. I've heard of stories of guys who go into prison and are raped, because that's basically what it would be if someone's forcing you, and then they come out on the outside and they never go back to the homosexual lifestyle. Now that wouldn't necessarily fit one way or another if it's choice or you're born because it was forced against their will. But there are other individuals who are, I don't know what you would say, but or what you'd call it, but individuals who are, for lack of a better word, opportunistic, who might go into a prison setting and go, well, I'm not very strong. I don't belong to a gang. Um, I've never been homosexual, but I don't really have any real issues against it. And they could trade sexual favors in order to, stay alive, protect themselves, you know, basically sort of like, prostituting themselves in order to survive. Um, it's not to say, you know, what makes a homosexual. Is it someone who's, an opportunist? Do they have to necessarily enjoy it? Because I would assume that if you're gay and you had sex with a woman, I mean, you would have to have gotten excited. And if they have children, then it would have meant that you were able to complete the sexual act to to its completion. So I'm not really sure about what my beliefs are. I think that if I had to come down on choice or birth being the origin of an individual's homosexuality, I think you would have to say both. I think that it would depend on the individual. I don't know, I would have to say though, the vast majority of homosexuals that I've known have some sort of childhood trauma. Some of it was of the same sex, some of it was the opposite sex. But I also know individuals who had childhood trauma and have, once they were able to choose the type of sex they preferred, they never acted in a homosexual way again. I think that human behavior is such that um, it's very complicated, but that there could very well be individuals who choose, and I don't know what the verdict is on birth. Um, so let me know what you think about my opinions or views. Leave comments. I'm definitely interested to know what other people think, other individuals, experiences that they might have gone through, because to me, what this is all about is it's about learning, trying to understand. And to me, there are, where there shouldn't be any taboo subjects. Everything should be open to discussion, especially in a free and democratic society which we live in. So I challenge you to um, you know share your opinion and your views. I mean, it's not about right or wrong. It's just about, what do you think? What have you seen? Um, I think that'll be the end of this video. And thank you for watching. I'm out.